Hello everyone, welcome back to JN Unique Designs. I am Joseph and I am happy to be with you on another edition of Late Night Crafting. Um, this is a pre-recorded video, so if you're joining me today, please like and subscribe to my channel. This week has been very busy and very hectic, so that's why I'm pre-recording these videos. But what I'm doing tonight is, last week or 2 weeks ago, I had some people comment on my Journal Together page for Elizabeth Craft Designs for vintage. What is vintage? And one particular person messaged me last week, and they said, I challenge you to make something vintage with your favorite color. As all of you already know, my favorite color is green. So I'm going to make something vintage using Elizabeth Craft Designs Florals. And I'm going to create a nice vintage card today. And let's play it together. Let's turn the camera around and we'll see what I can do here and see what I can come up with. All right, so if you're looking at my table, what you see is I've already pre-cut a few things here that I want to do. The first thing I'm going to do is, of course, I always use Elizabeth Craft Designs soft finish cardstock. I never go anywhere without Elizabeth Craft Designs soft finish cardstock, because when you are creating anything with florals, soft finish cardstock is the only way to go. Let me see what the floral number is here. And then what I'm going to do is I already pre-cut florals number 7. This is florals number 7. I've already also started with a couple already, so that's why you're only seeing a few cut here. And so florals number 7 is what I'm going to use. I'm using the alphabet letters again. I've already pre-cut with double-sided adhesive on the back. And this paper. This is from the Christmas paper, the newly released Christmas paper pack that came out. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to keep it down here. I have some cutouts here that I had from Paper Pack 5, the Reminiscence Paper Pack 5. All of these items will be linked down below for your viewing. And if you do purchase, please use the link down below. There's a couple of different links. If you click on the item link itself, what happens is it takes you to the American store. But if you scroll down towards the bottom, there's the European store. If you use the European store and you use my store name, JN Unique Designs, you can get a little discount with your order. And that goes on top of all the sale items. Hint, hint. So if you are interested in supporting me, please go ahead and try that and let me know how that works. The last thing that I'm going to be using is I have some of these tickets that I purchased from Tim Holtz. This is the booklet, the ideology ticket book that I have. Has a lot of different colors in there, different colors, different tickets. You can get these from Esther, and she'll have those. But let's go ahead and get started. I've already cut a 5x7, or no, a 10x7 card, and I scored it at 5 inches to make this 5x7 card. I've already folded that in half, so I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to start working on a couple things here. So first things first, I have a new technique that I've been wanting to try, and so I tried it this morning, and I like it. I love it. I love the way it turned out. What we're going to do is we're going to take Versamark, the clear Versamark here, and I'm going to take a piece of Elizabeth Craft Designs release sheet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the textured side face down on the paper, on the ink pad. And I'm using my release sheet so I don't get the ink all over my fingers. And what I'm doing is I'm just pasting it, pressing the flowers right onto the paper, on the ink pad itself. What I'm doing is I'm going to try to get the ink all over. That's what I want to do. Get the ink all over this piece. As you can see, I'm getting it all over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that aside. I received and made a purchase a long time ago from design team member Joyce for Montserrat Wow embossing powder. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like a very sage and jade colored green with white speckles on it. So I made that purchase a while back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and emboss it. I'm going to emboss my florals with this. What I'm going to take is I'm going to take my tweezers, and so I can pick it up, and that way I can get a lot of it, a lot of this powder right on it without having to touch the Versamark, the clear Versamark. And then I'll take it and I'll dump it like that, and I'm gonna make sure that that's all there. You can see what the color looks like. It's kind of like a jade kind of color green. I like that color a lot. Set that aside for a bit. I'm going to take the next piece using the tweezers again, and I'm just going to go ahead and color this up. Like that. Just like that. And as you can see, there's those white speckles that I love, because once you heat this up, those white speckles actually becomes pretty solid, and little white speckles. And I like this glitter, or this embossing powder, because it already has glitter in it. It's already mixed with the glitter. And as you already know, I am considered a semi-glitter king. I love glitter. I love Elizabeth Craft Designs glitter. And anything with glitter, it has my name in it. So, the only downside to this this embossing powder that I found is that you can't use the heat it tool. You have to use an embossing gun, because the embossing gun will make it hotter than it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute the microphone, and I will emboss this in front of you so you can see what happens, but I don't need you to hear all that noise, so give me a second. Alrighty, so as I was embossing that, as you can see, it does take a lot of heat to get this all melted. What I like to do then is I like to take my little cloth here, and I'm going to clean it up just a tad bit, because all that embossing powder is flying all over the place, and while it's still hot, I can wipe it off of my glass mat with no issues. I don't want to heat my glass mat up again. So thank you for that patience of yours for a second there while I do that. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is, once this is all set, I'm going to take a little pokey tool. I just happen to have a golf tool here, and I'm going to poke right in the middle of each floral. And I'm going to go right down the middle just to make it nice and big. Make the hole nice and large. As you can see, oh, see, I accidentally tore that. See what happens when I'm not doing it correctly? I accidentally tore that petal. No problem. This is why we do this together, so I can show you how I fix it. This is not a problem. I take my ball stylus. When you're doing embossing powder, my recommendation is don't use the small ball stylus. Use the biggest ball stylus that you have. The reason why you want to use this biggest small ball stylus is you want to, with the embossing powders, it makes the floral petals really thick and tough. So what you want to do is you want to just use it so you can get a little bit. And remember that technique that I showed you about pressing down? I use the medium ball stylus, and I press and I turn my stylus around just to give it that shape. You see that? That's how I cup it. And now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go here, like such. What I think I'm going to have to do is, I just noticed out of the corner of my eye there's that auto zoom, autofocus thing that's driving me nuts. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna see about switching cameras around, and let's see if I can fix that. So I'm gonna just maybe in the next video, what I'll have to do is I'm gonna switch that camera around just to see what I can get out of it. All right, so as I said, I pressed it down on my mat, and all I'm doing is I'm twisting my ball stylus around, and what it's doing is it's cupping my florals, you see? And then what I'll do is set that aside. You can use any stamen you like. I mentioned that I had these stamens sitting in my drawer for so long. I don't even know who makes them anymore. I have no labels or anything like that that tells me who made them or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slit my, you see how the flower just broke in half? That's not a problem. Again, because the fact that I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, this is why this happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to place glue all the way around the tip here. Don't waste your flowers. Don't throw them away just because they're torn. I don't believe in throwing them away. And because remember when I said the embossing powder, you have to be careful with the embossing powder, because the embossing powder, what it does is that it makes the paper very hard. And by making it very hard, what happens then is that it's very fragile to break that the fibers in the paper is very easily broken. So I'm just holding that for a second until it dries, just like that. See, now it dries. Looks good. Looks like my petals are good. I might need to add a drop of glue here just to get that petal all good. Just like that. You know, just as such. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this down and hold it for a second until everything dries nicely. I'm again using Lineco pH neutral glue. I think that should do it. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this petal. Be very careful and gentle when pulling it through. And then I'm going to take glue and I'm going to circle around the petal, just at the base of the petal here. I'm going to put a lot of glue in there. So I'm not afraid to use that glue and use it to stick it right in there and pull the flower all the way through. You can see how I did that. I noticed, yeah, that camera is just not looking right with the fact that it autofocused like that. I'm going to have to change that out, and we're going to see if I can change that out and see if I can get a better setup. Because, let me see here. Is that better? Is that any better? Nope, that doesn't do anything. So I'm going to have to change that camera out because that autofocus is not right. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. You see? And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it. Cut the stem off. Because why I am cutting the stem off early is because I'm going to use that that egg, the quail egg holder that I've used before for videos. I'm going to bring this back in here and I'm going to place this right down and I'm going to press it down into the quail egg holder like that, just to give it a little bit of a shape while I come back to it in a little bit. Place that down there. And I'm going to let it sit for a little bit while it dries. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color my leaves. I am using Altenew brushes, again with Golden Metal and Rainforest Versafine Clair. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the yellow first, and I'm going to brush down the center. Should be able to see that. I hope you can see that. Yep. Brush down the center, just like that. Nothing, I'm not even, as you can see, it's nothing fancy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the I'm going to take the Rainforest, and I'm going to go around it. Just around the outside. Just like that. And what happens is that yellow mutes itself, as you can see. It's just muted, as you can see. Right? And it just gives it a little bit of yellow right into the leaf. And you can see how I did that. The color blends so beautifully. And that's what I want to see. And then I'm going to put these inks aside. And since I was bad and I threw my shaping pad all the way across the room, when I put it away, I have to get it. And then I'll take my leaves. I'm not going to spread it with water or anything. I'm just going to take my large ball stylus and I'm just going to go around just like that. Haphazardly. I love that word, haphazardly. Because when you're creating art, there is no mistakes. It's all about having fun. So I'm going to do that. See? Let's do that. And I'll place my pad really close. I'm going to take my my spray here and clean my mat, because I want a nice clean mat when I'm working with white. It's important. And then I'm going to take my paper and my card, and let's go ahead and start building the foundation of the card. So, building the foundation of the card. What am I going to do first? And there's some sticky stuff on there that I just don't like, so I'm going to have to clean that more. I'm going to start off with the alphabet tabs. This time what I'm going to do is I'm spelling the words grateful. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking the letters out of it, and I'm spelling the word grateful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off right on the edge here. And because this is already folded, what I like to do is I like to take it out of, unfold the sheet of paper like that and place it on the edge of my table so that I can see it better. So, see the edging a little bit better. You should be able to still see what I'm doing, which is good. So yes, this is a challenge that I was challenged to. So thank you to my YouTube subscriber who challenged me to do this card. I am very grateful for that challenge. I look forward to receiving more challenges. If any of you that are viewing this video now would like to see something in particular, please let me know. Let me know how I can help you. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, please let me know how I can help you. I am more than happy to do that. So, great. That. And make sure that the embossing line and everything matches. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to take that centerpiece of that A. Like that, right in there. T. This is the tedious part, but it makes the card look so much nicer if you pay attention to the details. T. E. I don't have any more centers that I have to worry about, so I'm good. T. E. F. Spelling the word grateful, as I told you. And like I said, I don't throw these pieces away because you can use them for other cards, other projects. So, F. And how I cut this was I put the double-sided adhesive on the back already. And when the double-sided adhesive die cuts through, it gives it enough pressure on my die cut machine to go ahead and emboss what it needs to emboss and cut very crisply. You can see this. So I'm just going to place that there. Grateful. And I always like to finish it off with a little heart at the end, hence the heart tab. Just like that. So there. That's good. I'm going to set these aside because I'm going to save these for another project. Place them right off to the side here. And then what I'm going to do is I will take this piece and I'm going to get my tape runner. I have just a generic tape runner here that I just will run some tape on here. Nothing. Everybody has a tape runner if you're a crafter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place it this way. I'll place this right here, right on the embossing line. But I want to see the top and the bottom matches, the width and the distance. Perfect. Just like that. So now we have our base card. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that green that I was just using, the Rainforest VersaFine Clair, with the a foam brush. Whoops, wrong one. Rainforest. It's a foam dauber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and I'm going to brush my paper. I'm just going to accent this a little bit. Give it a little bit more green, you know. Because Elizabeth Craft Design's paper is beautiful as it is, but isn't it just nicer if you accent it a little bit? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just accenting this a little bit to give it a nice little green touch to it. And I'm going to do the same thing with these tickets. Add a little green accent. I've already accented one of them. So, you know, just do that. Accent it a little bit more. I'm going to accent this one a little bit darker because I already started that earlier. There's no, I mentioned already multiple times, there is no mistakes when crafting. With this particular piece, I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to accent it, but I'm going to, before I do that, I'm going to tear. I'm just going to do some tears here. You know, nothing fancy, just some tears. Just like that. And I'm going to throw that piece away. I'm going to take some of my ink, and I'm going to ink it up. Ink some green on there. And I'm going to do this. Again, if you have any type of oxides or if you have any type of inks, feel free to use it. You don't need to have this, but this by far is my favorite type of ink, the VersaFine Clair. So there's that. And I think everything is now colored. Everything is ready. So I'm going to put my dauber away. I'm going to take, let's see, how do I want to do this? What I want is this piece. Where is my tape? There is, no, that is not my tape. Where is my, I know I have tape somewhere. Here we are. Got some extra pieces of tape here that I've been saving. Left over from the roll. I told you earlier that I don't throw away. So I'm not worried about using it badly because they're leftovers anyways. So I'm going to take that, this release sheet off. I think, let me see, does this look better down here or up here? I think I like it up here. I think I like it right there. Perfect. I think what I'm going to try to do is, let's see, since there's tickets there, what about this being down here? What about that? I look too busy? Let me lay, I'm going to lay these out first. I think I like this down here. Maybe this and like this. Maybe this up here. Yeah. Upside down, of course. Maybe this. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So, let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and I have some Elizabeth Craft Designs tape, but it's out of my reach for the moment. So let's go ahead and use my tape runner. I'm going to place this right on there. That's where that was, right? And then this piece down here, add some tape runner. I'm going to place this right off the edge like that. Like that. And with this last one, I'm thinking I'm going to use some foam dots. I have some foam dots here in my stash from that I got that have these little tabs on it that are really neat. I'll place that there, and I'm going to pop this one up just because I like the way that looks. Maybe right there. That looks even. Pop that up like that. And then remember what happened to those florals that I put in here? Through the magic of course, YouTube, I've already pre-created some leaves and some florals. This is what they look like if you place them in that cup. They come out like this. They come up pre-cupped like this. And it's very neat. So I'm going to take my little tray here that I've had, and I'm going to put some Kids' Choice glue in there because the viscosity of the Kids' Choice glue is just phenomenal when it comes to florals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place some glue there, like that. And I'm going to take my florals. This is, again, floral number 8. And I'm going to take my hands and I'm just going to bend out the petals. Because when it was sitting in the cup, what happens is it sat up and it pushed the petals upwards. What I'm going to do is, see, I'm just using my hands. I'm not doing anything particular. But the nice thing about the embossing powders is that it takes that and it actually puts some nice glue. It takes some shape and it puts that right in there. I'll place that right there. Take my second one, do the same thing. Just going to bend it out just a tad bit, just to give it a little bit more shape. And that embossing powder just holds it right in place without being broken. You see? Take this, place some glue on it. And what I'll do is I'll add this right here. Add a small one. And you bend the pieces. Yeah. Maybe add one there. I'll take this small one and I'm going to bend it out like I did there. Remember, this is the broken one, so I have to be extra delicate. Place some glue in there. Place some glue there. Bend this again. Give it a little bit of shape while it was sitting in that cup. Get some glue. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place this one right here. This large petal right there. See, just like that. And by doing it that way, what happens is that it kind of looks full. It looks full there. And I'm going to take some more of these leaves and dip that in the glue. I'm going to take my Elizabeth Craft Designs tweezers and I'm going to lift up that flower down in the center here so I can stick a leaf right in the middle there. I want to stick a leaf right in the middle there. The nice thing about this glue is the viscosity. As I told you, it's very thick. You can stick leaves anywhere, and once you stick it down, it holds the flower up. See? It just holds the flower up. Just like that. I'll place some leaves, one leaf over here maybe. It has to be somewhere that it's not extending too much off of the card, because I have these clear boxes that hold the card together, and if it extends too much off of the card, it won't fit. So what I'm doing is I'm very cautious about where my leaves are. Okay. Being very, very cautious. And here we go. I think I don't like the way that sits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that. I'm going to pull that flower up. I'm going to place that one there all together. And then I'll take this and I'm going to move that. Just like that. And then I'll stick this one right here. That's better. It looks a little bit nicer. Nice thing with wet glue is you can arrange your portrait however you like it. So, there's that. There's that right there. Looks much nicer. Looks much nicer. And then I'll take some of these branches that I have here, and I'm going to stick a couple of these green branches in there, just to make the card look even fuller. That. Maybe just like that. There we go. What does that look like to you? That looks beautiful. I like the way that looks a lot. My card looks set. Looks ready to go. Look how simple yet elegant that is. And if you were going to give that as a grateful card to somebody, somebody's going to like it a lot. So I think my challenge is complete. Let me show you a lily that I created in the same manner. I created this card in the same exact manner that I did with Florals 8. This is Florals number 10. That was my sample that I made earlier. Instead of doing grateful and Thanksgiving, thankful, that's what it says there, and grateful here. So, just wanted to show you. Look what you can do. So, for my follower, let me turn the camera around here. For my followers who are subscribed and liking my channel, I'm so grateful for your challenging me. This really made me think outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and it really makes it hard to think about outside of the comfort zone and do projects like this. So I am so grateful that you came and you were able to make this card with me today. Look at that. Look how wonderful that is. So, challenge completed. Thank you so much, and have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.